would say welcome back to everybody or I'm gonna start that over because it was stupid. Uh, Welcome back everybody to Rupert's YouTube channel where we're gonna break down some of the stories of Rupert's life because some of the stories are crazier than the videos. And you guys get to watch some clips of Rupert doing whatever it is that he's going to be doing. And Jeff here, I want to say hello, Jeff.
Hello.
Is going to be my co-host for this conversation. And I've got some people out there that are asking about the Fat Rupert era, um, which is just something that we've been for a long time calling when Rupert just got really, really fat. It's kind of like the fat era of Elvis, where, like his fat period. And then he finally lost some of the weight. So,
You're aging yourself because I am not aware of it.
of Elvis's fat era,
Yep, didn't care, didn't know.
that is a common American thing. Everybody knows about Elvis's fat period.
Hmm,
So, and also, Elvis was dead way before I was born, so I'm not aging anything.
sure, sure.
How did Rupert get so fat? And I'm gonna just do a little reference to Taylor Swift here, which is probably not going to age well, but it was me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me. What had happened is when Rupert was a little tiny baby kitten, I've already referenced that I never had a cat and didn't really know what I was doing. I was trying to read about it in books and stuff. And I actually had like a lot of anxiety that I would forget to feed him. Jeff can attest to the fact that you cannot forget to feed a Rupert cat. He will not let you, right?
Hmm.
Yes, Rupert wants to be fed promptly, on time, ahead of schedule, or he will just do whatever to make you completely miserable until you feed him. But when he was a newborn baby kitten, I didn't know that cats aggressively remind you to feed them. So I had a little automatic feeder that would basically refill the bowl whenever it was empty, which contributed a little bit to Rupert's getting fatter. Then I kind of noticed that he was gaining a little bit of weight. So, like, free feeding wasn't really working out for him. He has no self control. So, I switched over to the automatic timed filter, like this giant contraption, which I will put some videos of this device on. Do you remember the automatic time filter, Jeff?
Yep.
And do you remember what Rupert would do with the automatic feeder?
Yeah, as soon as he heard like the gears get in motion, he'd run as soon as the food was released. And then he'd eat it all. And then we noticed he'd start reaching up there like a kid trying to grab gumballs from a gumball machine. You just reach up there and knock food down and then eat it. So yeah, basically he's a little fatty and he just continued to eat all day and just would paw up there to get as much food as possible.
So it didn't deter him from just free feeding all day at all. He just did whatever he wanted. So,
Yep.
yeah, and like we were just trying to make that work for a long time, and then I took him to the vet one day for one of his many vet appointments. There's just so many stories of Rupert going to the vet. It's like 2 to 3 times a year. It was $1 million was paid to the vet because of Rupert.
Not a million. You don't get paid that nearly that much.
No, it felt like a million. It felt like every time we turned around, I had a $600 vet bill, which is why the YouTube channel, you guys watching the ads really helps us out with all these vet bills. But the beginning of Rupert's weight loss journey, I had him at the vet, and our vet, Dr. Kevin, he just kind of casually threw it out there in the nicest way possible, not to offend me over Rupert's excessive weight. And he's like, your cat's like 16 pounds. And I really would like to see him closer to 13 pounds. And I'm like, what? And he's like, he's obviously just kind of like laying around all day and seems like he might be kind of a lazy cat. So I suggest calorie restrictions and trying to get him exercise. And I was like, come again? How do you exercise a cat? He's like, just toy play, get him to like run back and forth. And I was like, oh, I could probably make that work. And so Rupert and I came home to Jeff, and I'm like, Jeff, the vet recommends exercise. And then, do you remember how much fun it was to try to get Rupert to exercise, Jeff?
Yeah, you think he's a dog and he would just fetch anything you threw, but that just didn't happen at all. You'd chuck a toy to the other side of the apartment and he would just sit there. And when you have as many of toys as he did, because you bought him everything, you toss him and he still just sits there. And you tap him, you nudge on him to get him to go, and he just sits there being an asshole.
So hard. to get this fat cat to do any type of freaking exercise.
He was your typical fat, lazy cat.
Right.
Yeah.
There's no fat camp for cats. Like there really should be. No, this cat did no exercise. He was so hard to like get him to do anything. I think like finally his favorite toy ended up being that like mouse on a little plastic ring. And then like when we had hardwood floors, we could like spin it the ring in a circle and then the mouse and he would get all excited and his eyes would get big and he would start panting. And then he would zip across the room to try to get this thing. And then hair ties. Rupert freaking loves hair ties. Those are like his go-to. So you could shoot a hair tie and then he'll run and go do that. And so I think we had stairs in this loft apartment. So we would get him to go up and down the stairs and try to get him going with the little bit of weight loss journey. We had to get rid of the automatic feeder because of the scoop problem. And we had to do like we had to feed him on time. And that really turned Rupert into a food monster. I don't know. Do you remember him being just freaking obsessed with food at this
Oh yeah,
time?
all the time. All the time.
Yeah. So he started to steal food from us more often, just like brazenly up on the table, trying to take it off of our plate, trying to stick his feet in my yogurt, like anything that he could do. He stole from the garbage can more often. And then we had to put his bag of dry food up in a cabinet because he would just eat a hole in the bag and then free feed himself all day. As I tell these stories, I'm just like, yeah, Rupert's ridiculous.
Hmm.
So, does anyone else's cat eat a hole in their bag and free feed themselves? If you guys do, please comment and let me know that I'm not alone here. So, Jeff, what do you remember about our problem?
Oh yeah. So we would try to take the can away before it was put in the bowl, but he would always jump and like try and snatch the can, right?
Remember him just trying to knock it out of your hands before the food even made it to the bowl.
Yeah, so he would just like stand, try to get up at our level and just start slapping away at it, trying to get it down, anything possible. He's very aggressive, and trying to eat. So, the fatty instinct was still with him. And so, yeah, he basically, as soon as he heard that can open, he was coming at you.
We did get a garbage can with a lid.
Oh, yeah. So when we discovered out the new condo had slick floors, sometimes we'd give him extra treats to watch him slide around. So we would throw it the other way, and then he'd sprint after it, and he would just slide all over the floor, and that was pretty great.
Which like it succeeded in getting him exercise, but like I don't think the treats were good for the weight loss journey. So like we would go back and forth of like, you're going to make him fat again.
Yep. Yeah, it is what it is.
It's like I really like to watch him slide through the floor. It's the simple joys of life.
Hmm.
And sometime during this process, we ended up with a cat that started like vomiting frequently, like a couple times a week, and he had diarrhea. And so it's something that we were trying to kind of like figure out what was causing that situation and manage that situation.
All right, this video is getting a little too long for my attention span. So we're gonna stop here and continue this story in a part 2 video. Check back with us to find out about Rupert's inconvenient favorite place to vomit. And now for Kaylee's outro song.
Rupert Cat, he's there. He's every freaking there. Rupert Cat, he's there. He's every freaking where. Rupert Cat, he's there. He's every freaking where.